Today, we're digging into a philosophy for reclaiming your focus in a world that, let's be honest, seems totally designed to destroy it. All right, let's start with a quick, honest check-in. Just for yourself, how many notifications have you already seen today? Seriously, 10? 50? Maybe way more. You know what I'm talking about. The emails, the messages, the alerts, they're like this constant background noise of modern life, right? And each one, on its own, feels pretty harmless. But what happens when you add them all up? Let's ask a tougher question. What has all that constant interruption, what has it actually done to the quality of your thinking? To your ability to, really dig in, solve the hard problems, and create something that actually matters? See, in a world that's just obsessed with speed and multitasking, the ability to just focus on one demanding thing, has become like a superpower. It is so rare, and because it's so rare, it is incredibly valuable. So what's the antidote? How do we fight back against this culture of constant distraction? Well, it turns out that superpower we were just talking about, it has a name. It's called deep work. And look, this is way more than just another productivity buzzword. It is a truly fundamental skill for thriving in the world today. And the definition, it's really crystal clear. This isn't just, trying to focus. It's a very specific skill, concentrating without distraction on tasks that are really, really hard for your brain. This is the state where real value gets created, where you make actual breakthroughs. Okay, but to really get what deep work is, we have to look at its opposite. And that's, it's how most of us spend our days, right? We're caught in this trap of being busy instead of being effective. And there's actually some science behind why this busyness is so bad for us. It explains why multitasking is basically a myth. It's called attention residue. Think about it like this. Every time you switch tasks, say you're writing a report and you quickly glance at an email, part of your attention literally stays stuck on the report. This residue, it makes you slower and worse at the email you just switched to. It's a real cognitive price we pay for every single interruption. And this comparison just nails the difference. On one side, you've got the illusion of productivity, the stuff that looks like work, right? Firing off emails, jumping between meetings, just shuffling information around. It feels productive. But then on the other side, that's the reality of value, creating actual output, solving tough problems, making real, meaningful progress. Totally different. So what does deep work feel like? Well, it has a few key characteristics. It's got to be focused, obviously. It's also really intentional. You don't just accidentally fall into deep work. And here's a big one. It's often kind of uncomfortable, at least at first. But that discomfort, that's actually a good thing. It means you're stretching your brain, and that's exactly where the real growth happens. All right, so we've covered the what and the why. We get it. Deep work is valuable. The big question is, how do we actually do it? Let's dive into the playbook. The great news here is that it's not a one-size-fits-all thing. You can pick a style that actually fits your life. Maybe you're the extreme isolation type, where you can just totally shut everything out. Or maybe you're more about separation, creating clear boundaries. A rhythmic approach is great too, making it a daily habit like hitting the gym. Or if your schedule is just pure chaos, you can be opportunistic and grab those deep work moments whenever they pop up. Honestly, the specific method matters way less than just committing to one. And that commitment, it needs some structure. You can't just sit around and hope deep work is going to happen. Nope. You have to build rituals that basically invite it to show up. And that's the real difference, isn't it? It's the difference between accidentally getting in the zone and deliberately entering a state of deep work. So what's a ritual look like? It's basically a set of rules you make for yourself. Simple questions. First, where are you going to work? A specific room, that one quiet coffee shop? Next, for how long? Are we talking 90 minutes, 3 hours? And this is maybe the most important part. What's allowed and what's forbidden? You have to be super explicit. No phone, no social media, no interruptions, period. And don't forget, this is a seriously high-energy activity. Your brain cannot perform at its peak if you're neglecting your body. You got to make a mindset shift here. Things like movement, good food, and rest, they aren't distractions from your work. They are the prerequisites. They are literally the fuel for your focus. Okay, here's a really powerful technique. Think of it like an exercise for training your focus muscle. It's called productive meditation. And the idea is, during those mentally idle times, like when you're walking or commuting, instead of just letting your mind wander or immediately grabbing your phone, you pick one specific problem and you just stay with it. Now, To make sure this doesn't just turn into aimless daydreaming, you give it structure. You ask yourself targeted questions like, what exactly am I trying to solve here? Or what's the very next concrete step? This is how you train your brain to fight off distractions and hold on to a complex thought for a long time. It really is like weight training, but for your attention span. Of course, a huge piece of this whole puzzle is managing technology. So if you're not sure if a certain app or service is actually helping you or just hurting you, try this simple experiment. I dare you. Pick one distracting thing, something non-essential, and just quit it for 30 days, cold turkey. Then, after the 30 days are up, ask yourself two brutally honest questions. The answers, well, they'll tell you everything you need to know. And all of this really brings us to the most important point. Deep work, it isn't just a productivity trick. It's not a hack. It's a whole philosophy for how to live a more meaningful, more impactful life in this crazy, shallow world. And this philosophy, it doesn't clock out at 5 p.m. How you spend your downtime is just as important as how you spend your work time. Because what happens when our free time is unstructured? We all know the answer. It just collapses into endless scrolling and passive consumption, just filling our heads with noise. So the goal here is to be intentional, even with your rest. When work is over, you have to truly shut down. Let your brain actually recover. Because a rested mind, that's where your best ideas are born. A mind that's always on, always distracted, it produces absolutely nothing of value. And that's really the core takeaway here. This is about so much more than just ticking boxes or getting more done. It's a choice. It's about choosing to protect your attention, to train your focus, and to make depth your secret weapon in a world that seems to reward shallowness at every turn. So, I'll leave you with this question to think about. In a world that is literally designed to steal your most valuable asset, your attention, what are you going to do to protect it?